Hey everybody, welcome to another Learn to Digitize video brought to you by omlembroidery.com and sponsored as always by omlpatches.com. We are going to try to answer questions that people post on videos or ask in Facebook or on Twitter, and we're going to try to maybe once or twice a week address some of these questions. If we get enough questions, we may do a video that's just simply questions and answers, and I'll show you how to do it. But for right now, we have pretty much quite a few of the same questions. The first question that everyone asks is, how do I get a JPEG of a logo and then turn it into embroidery? Okay, well that requires digitizing. Now I know a lot of people say, well, there's auto digitizing. Why can't I do that? And today's video, I'm going to show you exactly why you can't. It may or may not work on some pictures. It may be okay. It may be, you might look at it and say, oh, okay, that'll do. Some things will work, some things won't. You have to play around with it. But the way I learned how to digitize embroidery is to do it manually. And I'm going to stand firm that manual digitizing will always look better. You put your heart and your soul into it, a little bit of your creativity, and I think that's what makes an excellent embroidery design patch. I guess I say patch, but embroidery design or a patch. So I'm going to show you now. I have 3 different embroidery programs that I use. Embird, of course, which is what we're talking about today. We also have the Embrilliance, which I'm learning on. I didn't do any of it with this today. We also have Tajima DG15, which is quite a bit different from Embird, and it is a professional level embroidery digitizing, and I'm going to be doing some videos on that. Maybe not over the weekend. I think I'm going to take a weekend video break, but next week. And I would encourage anyone who's using Embird to watch the Tajima videos. Tajima is not for the home embroiderer. It is priced a lot. I don't even want to say anything. It's very expensive, but I want the home embroiderers that are using Embird and Embrilliance to see a professional level embroidery, and then you can see what the differences are, and you may be a little surprised at how good Embird and Embrilliance are compared to the, I'm making quote bunny rabbit ears with my hands, the professional level. But anyways, that's coming for next week. For today, again, we're talking on auto digitizing. So I took my very expensive program and Tajima DG15, again, commercial level, professional, top of the line. It's one of the 2 biggest ones in digitizing. And I put it through the auto digitizing, and we're also going to do it here in Embird. So the question again was, I want to take a JPEG and turn it into stitches, and I know there's auto digitizing on Embird. Why are we not using it? I'm going to show you why. So here's a typical picture that you get. It looks absolutely fantastic. There's shading, there's pretty stuff. Okay, well for this one we made it into a 3.5-inch patch. So you can't really do the shading. I guess if you were making it, the size of a jacket back, you could do more of the shading. But for general needs, you're not going to be making jacket backs. You're going to be making 4x4 hoop or 5x7 hoop designs. So that's what we're going to be working with today. And I am in Embird, and I am in Embird Studio. But I wanted to show you, this is typically what you will get from people. Oh, can you make this into not a patch but a logo for my shirt? And you say, okay, well, the question is, can I take this logo and auto digitize it? No. I want you to manually design, and I'm going to show you the difference. So the first thing is the size. We have that, it's sized at about 3.5. I already went through that. Does everyone remember how to do that? I don't know. Image, import is what you do. Pick your image, bring it in. If you have to make any size difference, you go edit image window right here. And then you can bring it to the size. You always want to digitize at approximately the size that your final embroidery design needs to be. So this picture was actually huge. I think it was 11 by 14. You don't want to digitize it at that size because then you have to squish it all down and it's not going to be the same. So learn to do that properly. You digitize at approximately the size that your final design needs to be. So I've done all that and we have the picture. Looks great. So I'm going to show you what my very expensive and awesome professional level program auto digitized. Now I think the first one, and it has a whopping 22 colors on it, and this is what it comes up with. Now remember, this isn't Embird. This is what people use, and this is what people do with it, and that's what you get. Personally, I think it's awful. I think the beak turned out. I think the outline turns out. This is all white. The stitches aren't showing for the picture. The red turned out. The stars, I guess, this part. And the tongue is kind of cool because it's nice satiny stitches in the eyeball. That is showing right here. See, the eyeball turned out pretty well, except for I didn't do enough of the black. So yes, parts of this is okay. I wouldn't want to stitch that out, and if you're going to go into something like this and you're going to, okay, well I'm going to pull all these out, each one of these is a separate color, you might as well digitize it and do it right the first time. That's going to be the rule, do it right the first time. So that's what that comes up with. Now we did it again because there's a lot of settings on auto digitizing on the bigger programs. There's auto digitizing settings. So we spent about an hour, honestly, fiddling around with them to come up with the best, the absolute best that our auto digitizing program would come up with. And this is it. We cut it down to 7 colors. And let's see, the beak is okay. This still picked up on the shading, but the white is okay. The outline is okay. That's okay. This is terrible. The lettering is terrible, and everything else is just absolutely terrible. Even the little world thing is terrible. So yeah, can you see the difference? Can you see why you can't do it? But let's take it even further. We're going to work on this, and I'm going to show you what I actually did with this design, and you will be very surprised. So where is the auto digitizing feature on Embird Studio? I'm going to show you, but I don't want you to use it. It's right here, this magic wand, because apparently it's supposed to be magic. It isn't, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. Did I click the right one? Yes, I did. So it comes up with this little fill stitch thing. This is what we're gonna fill it with, and it's over here, and it says right under it, fill. Now these are some of the settings you can play around with. Tolerance and simplicity. You can do straight curved lines. You can do it to ignore openings, so it'll just be one solid color thing. The selection that it's a new selection. You can add to selection, add similar, subtract, or intersect, just to make, if you click here and click here, say that line wasn't there, you could add them together to make one shape. So let's try this. So let's try it on the first basic part, which is the white. So click on it. And see, now you can see by the marching ants, which are these dotted lines that are moving, you can see the parts that it's going to cover with. Then and it's pulling out, this is the problem with the circle, it's pulling out the white on the circle, because they're kind of attached. So this is when you can play around with the different things. I don't think that makes it any better, the simplicity. Let's try the tolerance. Make it less, more. See, I don't really see a big difference. Nope. So we'll make it a new thing. So not much you can do with that. So that's white, and that's what it looks like. Let's do another one. We'll keep it going. So pick up your apparently magic wand. We're going to go over here with the yellow beak. See, now that's not too bad. I'm going to leave it just like that. That's not too bad. It came in 2 steps. Okay, what else can we do? Because you have to do each part. Why don't we generate this and see what we've got so far? Because I don't think it looks as good as we think it looks. Takes a minute to generate. Let's look at it in 3D. Yeah, you know, that's not too bad. These parts here are wrong. But for doing, oh, and this is going to be wrong. So then the next question is, how are you going to fix that part? We want to keep this part. How are you going to fix that part? And then this little thing, I don't know how well you can see it. I'll zoom in on it. How are you going to fix that? Because if you look up here, this is just one piece. When it stitches, it's just one piece. So you could go back in and erase the stitches or remove them, or you can separate this from that. But then aren't you doing a lot of work? I think you're doing a lot of work if you have to go back and fix stuff, which clearly you do. Let's zoom in a little bit more and see if we can pick out some different things. So let's go to our magic wand. I'm trying to pick something that'll work. How about the black? Now it just picked up on the eye. That might be okay. Leave that the way it is. And that might be okay. I wonder if we could do the outline. How about let's go back to our magic wand. Pick the tongue because that worked out. Yeah, I think that's okay. Fair enough. And it does the colors, and that's what the tolerance part is. Let's do the guy's eye. Magic wand. I forgot what I was doing there because I don't use it. That might be okay. Magic wand. The stripes we know will work. What else? I guess we can see if we can. Well, you see how that works? I just thought it would pick up this part. Let's see if we can change that so it only picks up the part that I want. And I've gone through the whole cycle of it, and it just isn't. So what you're going to end up with is this part, which I wanted, and then see there's black, and the black goes around, and this going all the way up and all the way up to the other end. It's not carrying over and doing this part, which is what ultimately what we'd want. So then you have all of these lines to fix, because I don't really want the outside of the world lined. See, it is, but I don't think that looks good. So let's generate this and see what we have. Generate. It's going to take a little minute. And let's go to 3D. Yeah, see how that turned out? It's not even a straight line or anything. Then we got this little bump. And this is okay. That little, let me show you what I think is easier, because that's a lot of fiddling around to do. I don't think that looks good. I'd like it to be cleaner. I don't even know what this is. These stitches are small, so small they won't work out. Same with here. If it was one solid line, I would say maybe, but it isn't. I don't know what that is. And then over here, now the eye turned out okay. We have to do the little white in there. That's not too bad, but I still would like a sharper design on it. And again, you have all this white that you don't want. Sure, you can put a circle over it, but then you have a whole bunch of stitching that you don't need, but has to stitch out. That's going to take you time on your machine. Personally, I think it's a lot easier and a lot better to just do this. This is the part I wanted to do before. Whoops. Look, and now that one piece is done. Move that over a little bit. And generate. And I just really think that's a lot easier. Make it black, then the next ones will be black. Instead of fiddling around with what we were doing, we can get this precise and done, and everything matches and everything is overlapped where it should be, and we don't have weird stitches going all over the place. So I think you guys are getting the idea. Even with the most expensive embroidery, professional level, commercial, it really does, let me remind you, crappy job. Okay, now I'm going to show you what manual digitizing did with this. Let me just, no, I don't want any of those changes. Let me just pull this up for you. Open desktop, there we go. This is what we did with it. This is what I did with it. Let's look, and this is all done. See? Outlined. I didn't like the tongue, so I took it out. Oh, look at that. So what do you think is better? This, or what we were doing? So I think maybe if you accept the fact that manual digitizing is way better, you have more control. There's so many, look at the nice clean lettering, look at the crappy lettering. I think you guys will get over the fact and, totally understand that even the most expensive program really doesn't work. There's no magic solution for it. You have to learn how to manually digitize. And I think your machines will thank you, your customers will thank you, your daughters, whoever you're making stuff for, will thank you for learning to manually digitize. And honestly, once you get the hang of it and you start thinking digitizing, it's a lot easier than the magic wand and oh that's wrong and oh that's wrong. And see how I did the lines here a lot clearer and a lot better. I wanted more distinct, so anyways, that is the video of today, and hopefully you guys will understand and be a little more enthusiastic about learning how to digitize. It's not that bad, and the results are phenomenal. You can have beautiful embroidery, and everything looks great, and it's all set out properly and plotted properly, and the results will be well worth the time that you spend learning. So, happy digitizing, keep calm, and manually digitize on. Thanks for watching.